talk about sales. What's happening with apartment sales in Manhattan? Where are they still moving and where are they sluggish? In what price bands?
Well, we saw the third quarter report just came out, and it was really good considering all the things that we're facing here in New York City. And so the most movement we see is under $1 million. That was roughly 52% of the market in the third quarter. And then the $1 to $2 million price range was about 25% of the market. And where we are getting hit pretty hard is at the high end. That's a bit slower and more sluggish. And there's a lot of new development condominiums that are kind of sitting there. So it's all about pricing. I mean, things really have to be adjusted.
How much would prices have been higher a year ago than they are today? You said that the area where the fall off is the greatest has been in the lower price part of the market. What would those prices have been a year ago? 10% higher? 15? What?
I think 10% is probably about right. Very hard to say, though, because as we know, not all square feet are created equally. And again, and I just want to point this out to show you how the vitality of New York City. In the third quarter of 2020, there were 16 condominiums closed at a very high-end project. The average sales price is around $35 million. And all that means is that people are not backing out. They're moving forward. They're closing. I know that's at the high end, but it shows you that there's an incredible belief in New York City and its vitality and the future, despite the fact that we're facing a lot of headwinds. I mean, that's a reality. But people believe in New York and they want to be here. And it's just taking a little bit of time, the recovery.
I like that line. All square feet are not created equal. Robert, how about that?
Yeah, Bess, I take your point about the vitality and the optimism for New York City. But one thing that is clearly an overhang here is the debt and the revenue shortfall that we're seeing. $9 billion in New York City, $16 billion for New York State. How do you see politicians needing to react to that? Are they and what's going to be possibly an increase in taxes? What do you see as necessary on the political side to get New York real estate and New York's economy back on track?
Robert, you asked the best question, and I'll tell you what it is. What we need is to kind of be in the middle. That's the sweet spot. I mean, we have extremely progressives that are not understanding how important it is to compromise and be in the middle and understand that things like there was a project in Sunset Park that a bunch of developers and people backed out of because some of the very progressives thought it could hurt that area in Brooklyn. And it took away thousands of jobs from people. And so I think people are so focused on this narrative that they forget about the fact that we have to work together. The middle is the sweet spot. You know, it shouldn't be extremes on either end. And I think the legislators in Albany have to understand that, that this pied-à-terre tax that they were talking about would really hurt New York. It would hurt everyday people. And so we're really trying to get people to understand that, you know, I always say that compromise is the energy of the good, and that's where we need to be.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.